spring bolts. I like to set these spring bolts so if I'm on this side of the trailer, the nut is on the outside. And the reason I do that is so that at a glance, I can identify them where they need to be. Not identify where they need to be, excuse me. Know if there's a problem if one of them. The motivator. There they've been crimped so they'll stay on. So hopefully you can see this is the edge that is crimped on. So you start it on this side that is not crimped, and then it just basically acts as a lock nut. had to go get some more bolts, and so I ran to D&B Supply, our local farm and everything store, and went ahead and picked up the bolts I needed. But I noticed a couple of things as I was putting this together. The bolts that I have were replacement bolts that a friend of mine replaced, some that I had in stock in my stash of extra parts, because we used them in an emergency on one of his vehicles while he was broke down. But anyway, we got the right length. I think I have the right quantity. But I also picked up a nifty 5,000 pound tongue jack, which I think is the right weight to have for a dump trailer that's going to have quite a bit of tongue weight possibly on it. Now my intent is to not have it unhooked while it has a load in it, but that may happen because I only have one or two. But as you can see, it's starting to look like a trailer. Now it's not just a frame. They really start to come together when they get the wheels under them. Also, as you notice, I did put new shackle hangers on the, not shackle hangers, excuse me, spring perches on the axle. I moved them in because these axles were a little bit long. It does put a little further, the hub a little further away, but I think in the long run, where the fenders are going to be welded onto the dump, that will be perfectly acceptable. I don't anticipate that would be a problem. But it is evening on a weeknight. It's actually Monday, and I need to get this done so that I can get it wheeled out and get my our little Ford Escape back in. So I'm going to set this up on the tripod, and we'll put the other springs on and then do the rear axle. But I'm not going to videotape it, but I'm going to replace every bolt that I've put in so far, just for the simple fact that the bottom line is these are too long, and I'll reuse them somewhere else in some other project, or not. Okay, I want to show you the difference between the proper length bolts and not so proper length bolts. So down here, hopefully you can see that, and there's a lot of play in that. This bolt is bottomed out, no more threads, can't go any further. I have not done this side yet, but I did replace these bolts. And you can see clearly it's got enough play in it, but not too much. And these will need to be tightened yet a little bit more down here. There's a little bit of room there, but I'll go back through after everything's on and in and tightened. Like I said, the reason I put the nut on the outside is so as I inspect and walk around my vehicle, if this nut's backing off or coming out or I'm losing one, I'm gonna know. Every time when you're towing, just get in the habit of inspecting everything. So look at everything. Trailers notoriously are tire eaters, especially if they have a load on them. So, it's important to understand and recognize that. But I'm going to go ahead and get those bolts swapped out, and it's getting me breathing hard here. But you don't need to see that, and I'll get that done. Then we'll move on to this other axle. Interesting little problem to have. I'm not sure if you can see that because that copper's all black, but that's the bushing I put in, the wear bushing that I put in that's going inside the spring. There'd be a little play on that, but that's an interference fit. And it's so tight, I can't get that right out. So I'm gonna take the new bolt, which is shorter. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in this side that hasn't been gouged from the teeth. And then I'll go ahead and use it to knock this the rest of the way out of the thing here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get you where you can see this little process of the swap. Using my corner anvil. side, you can clearly see that this is this one's the right size. Out of the shop. It's going to take a little more because it's got the copper jacket on it. If I'm lucky. Nope, not going to be able to do that. So now this one is just going to go ahead and drive that out and also take that copper bushing. That'll go in the spring, just like that. Interesting how they made these lock nuts. I'm going to try and show you this. See if I can get that represented correctly. What they've done is they've crimped one side of it. If you look on this, that is perfectly round on this end. This side is slightly crimped. Interesting, smart. Okay, I probably ran out of battery there. So anyway, we'll catch you later. I'm gonna go ahead and get this last one in. All right, both axles are on. We get to roll this bad boy outside. And the trailer jack is on. That's good. And we are set to begin the next phase. Hopefully we don't get any rain. I know it's going to get a little frost on it tonight, but hopefully won't get too much rust. I'll get after that portion of it though. But I think I'm very satisfied with this. Even just as a short little trailer, I'm pretty happy with the results. But it's going to even get more fun because it's going to get the hydraulics and the dump bed on it. So if I thought it was heavy before, it's going to get a lot heavier. Watch out, world, here we come.